Hey.
Hey.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
On 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Powerheads. Here we are with the best number. I'm sorry. Number 5 is the best number. No matter what series we're talking about, no matter what episode we're talking about, it's Power Book 4, Episode 5. And it was Force, let's go. All right, so here we go. Tommy's driving down the street, and then we already see this scene already where your girl Claudette pulls a Monet because she's whipping around with her Mercedes truck, and she just yanks in front of him, and because that's how she wants to get his attention. She just can't be suave or subtle with it. She just gotta jump out and be like, bam. So she's doing her thing. She pulls up on Tommy, and she's like, remember I told you I'd kick your teeth in? And then so she smears some stuff on her lips, and he's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then she kisses him. And we seen Tommy get high a bunch, but he was done. She did a little boom, nesty plunge on that motherfucker. And he was down on the fucking hood. He was done. And he's like, okay, she's got my attention. Now, before that even happened, he was saying some stuff about, in this game, you're either the buzzsaw or you're holding the buzzsaw. Talking all that, yes. And she put the kiss on him with the Delilah on her lips. And she said, welcome to my buzzsaw. So I'm surprised that he didn't get run over in the street because he was done and he was falling off his hood. But it is what it is. He goes back to the spot and he talks to your girl, Liliana. And she's like, of course, he doesn't reveal they slobbing down some girl and whatnot because he's supposed to be plutonic with this relationship. But ain't nobody believing that at this point. And so she's like, was there a burn? Was there this? Was there aftertaste? And he was like, nah. She said, well, how did she get it to you? And then so he said, she kissed it on me. She's like, what? I guess I would buy her drugs too if she kissed it on me. That's a hell of a sales technique. And then she said, and you liked it. So meanwhile, it's like the Eddie Murphy with the ice cream. Like, I got some ice cream and you can't get none. They're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and figure out what's going on. Stop messing with me. And so she's like, her job is to go ahead and break down the compound and see what she can get out of it. Because if they could duplicate the formula, then Claudette is out of the game. So meanwhile, your boy Diamond is running through the park. Basically, I'm trying to look at all my medical knowledge right here. And I'm like, that motherfucker, unless everybody is actor short, that dude is at least a smooth 290, 300 pounds. They look like Albert Hainsworth running through the park. Just slabs of muscle like rah, rah, rah. And it's like, okay, he's not a little dude. So that even gives worse credence to the fact that he was pointing out at the last episode that it's unlikely that Diamond would be getting even crushed or thought about that Jannar was faking a fight or anything like that, because basically he's a big slabber dude. And it would be real hard to put some harm on him. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? I just mentioned somebody. I haven't seen him in a minute. I think there's the guy wears a red and white hat. Waldo. I think he's gone full Waldo. He's missing in action. I've heard Merkovich had kidnapped him and whatnot, and he was holding him for ransom right next to Liliana, and they both got the bags over their head, plastic over paper. And so he's missing. So we got the APB, the all points bulletin out for him.
Box material.
I don't know where he is. You know where he is? I don't know where he is. So I guess hopefully we'll see him soon. So meanwhile, Diamond, he's running through the park. Seamus pulls him over. He's the cop. We already know that he's taking care of somebody because your boy Vic kind of put it on him last time. It was like, you got somebody to look out for, your sister and whatnot. So it's like a little connection with that. So meanwhile, Seamus, he's talking to him and he's like, remember that bad batch that went out, from your crew? It hurt a lot of people, and some people's lives will never be the same. And your boy Diamond was like, whatever, man. I said, pay my penance, you know what I mean? As soon as I found out it was a hot batch, I went ahead and shut it down. So Seamus goes into all this madness about y'all always saying, you found God and Jesus, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that made a world of difference to the people that you hurt. And so then meanwhile, your boy Diamond flips it on him like, hold your roll. He's like hitting him with, oh, wait a minute. Aren't you taking money from the white dude to turn your head and look the other way? And he was like, where'd you hear that? So basically he just busted and just crumbled. And he's like, get out of my car. The boy Diamond is just like, look, y'all don't do too well inside. So dirty cops don't do too well. So you just got to remember that, I know what's up and the other cops don't. Maybe they could find out, you know what I mean? So that's how he's rolling with it. And Sheamus is automatically shrunk down like Flintstones. Like, no more beef. So he kicks him out of the ride. Jannard is back in the spot with Elijah, or E as they call him. E, that sounds familiar. And so he's raging about Tommy still. And he's like, we built this. And, I took care of business in 15 years while my brother's in the pen. And now this white boy comes along, blah, 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 blah. So, he's hating. He can't see the big picture. So he's just doing what he's doing. It's kind of understandable to a certain point because he did kind of handle business. But did he really handle business? Because the first intro we get to this dude is he's meeting with the Yardis, and both him and Vic are getting played like fools by some dudes who are obviously meth heads. So I was like, what is going on? Are you really handling stuff on the outside? And how did you survive? So that's how that stuff rolled. Meanwhile, Merkovic arrives in town. He goes in and blasts some dude's head, busts his cabbage all over the back. As soon as he meets with folks, and he's like, we want Tommy Egan. And I forget how he said it. It was very Russian. But I was like, sounds intimidating a little bit, but that's how they saying, that's how we rolling. While Merkovic is prowling the town looking for Liliana specifically, but definitely Tommy Aiken. They're trying to find out where this dude is at. Tommy is trying to let Liliana go. He's trying to give her the bricks, all the bricks. He's like, get out of town, blah, blah, blah. She's like, this is the only life I know. And, we have history. And when it's history, it's you and me is history. And so, Tommy's just like looking at her like, I kind of like this chick, but I can't let her know that. And so that's how they roll with that piece. And then he meets with your girl Claudette. And Claudette is like, blah, 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 70-30 my way. And Tommy's like, get out of here. And he starts walking out. And she's like, 60-40, who split? And Claudette says, okay, 60-40 your way. So he's like, down. And we're talking about Delilah here now. So what's happening is she says, okay, now that we got an agreement, you got to do me a little favor. And what is the favor? Apparently what's happening is, remember your girl, Dr. Lauren, she is the chemist who came up with Delilah as the diet drug that ends up having a lot of high implications to it. So only a specific amount has been made so far. And they blackmailed the hell out of Dr. Lauren, and they were like, she's going to be making more, I'm pretty sure, in the future. But I think what happens is that Claudette set that up. So she's running the show on that piece. So she's already got the future supply going on there, but she needs a current supply. And she already is like, I kind of know what's up. But Liliana has been spying, with Tommy's urging and extra dough. She's been spying on what's going on with Claudette, and then she followed Mai as well. And Mai is a little hot-headed Asian chick, with like 80 ribs. And she's meeting with this big dude, Barbito, who's a big Latin kid. It's like Big Pun II. And so what's happening with that is that she follows him to a warehouse. So she knows where the initial supply is. And Tommy finds out, of course, because he's with Liliana. And he rolls through there and he pulls a gun on him and he gets the supply. But he also hires Barbito. He's like, hey, I could do business with you. And Barbito, of course, when he's getting jumped in the stall, he's like, I've got 4 kids. Sounds like Fat, whatever his name is from the last episode.
Fat Tony.
The Italian guy. So, everybody's got the kids in there. They throwing them up there. And that pretty much saves their lives. All right. So anyway, she ejects the supply. And then Maya comes in. She's upset because what happens is the supply is stolen. And she was always pressing Claudette, like, you got to move it, you got to move it. And Claudette was like, we got to make moves. We got to be careful. You know what I mean? And she's like, no, you need to move it now. But now she has no supply. And then so she's tripping with Claudette. And Claudette is just like, oh, is there a problem? And then she immediately pulls out that Claudette is behind it. And then she's like, other people want to get involved, and she tries to storm out. Claudette's like, don't you walk out on me. She grabs her and snatches away from her and smacks the hell out of her. It was like, I could swear I saw chiclets on the ground. Claudette didn't like that. Now, they kind of made an emphasis to the fact that she's using the ice pick to chunk this big ass ice block from back in the day from when the milkman used to roll around. But they also had the ice delivery dude, and that was your air conditioning and whatnot.
And Dylan can tell you all about that. As a matter of fact, the ice guy looks like Dylan.
I got a facelift.
And she was chopping that to put in whiskeys and shit. So she just happened to have an ice pick handy. So she rolls up on him, and I think somebody, but I just can't remember that person's name, at this point would say, oh, it's a powerism, all right? Because she snuck up behind her and she stuck that ice pick in the base of her skull and pretty much killed her from what we could see. From a medical aspect, that's not how it happens. First of all, the occiput is the biggest and hardest bone in the skull and in the body. And it's big as hell. It's like a helmet sitting right back here. Now, what's happening is you have your spinal column, right, which protects your spinal cord. And if you stab the spinal cord, then what's happening, you can paralyze the person. And eventually, if you get the medulla with cerebella and medulla oblongata and all that stuff, then you can eventually stop them from breathing. But you have to push their head down and get in between the vertebrae, the very top two vertebrae, in order to make that happen and move up into the skull. And she didn't do any of that. She was like, and no force, no bending. You know, any military person would tell you, you got to go ahead and get between the vertebrae.
And for the staff of all the ghost books, I just want to let you know, I am the medical consultant that you need. Matter of fact, I am the Fresh Prince of medical consultant. Put me in there, put me in the game, and I'll slide Carlton straight out the frame like poof. For contact purposes for medical consultation, I can be reached at 555-555-5555.
So anyway, so she ended up killing her, and so she's all stretched out. And meanwhile, your girl Claudette is upstairs coking out. Or maybe the lion went in and out. Maybe she's going up on that stuff. All right, so that's how that rolls. Vic wants to get down. So it's like Tommy goes to Diamond. We about to make this move, man. We about to take all the Serbs' territory and distribution, which personally I don't really understand, because it's probably Serb to Serb connection. And I don't know if Tommy and everybody else kills all the Serbs, how they're going to get part of that connection. I'm not really sure. Is there a blueprint laying around? But he can say, these are the people I go to, or any of that makes no sense to me. Powerism or the black holes. So what's happening with that is that we don't know what's going on, but we know the plan. And the plan is to take over the connection and the distribution network. And so meanwhile, your boy is like, you know, he goes to Diamond, and Diamond is like, well, I want 51%. He's like, I don't have 51%. And he brings Vic in, and it's like, he reminds him that Vic basically took out 2 Serbs and allowed him to take out Tatiana in the last episode. So that means he's a valuable dude and he's already making moves. Everybody's like, okay, you know, we can be partners because, you know, we got Diamond and the crew over here, Chicago brothers. And then we got also Vic's crew over here with your boy Cy and whoever is involved with that. I only see one extra white guy, so I don't know how he's rolling heavy. But basically they're all agreed to come together. And the Diamond was like, okay, what's up with that 1%? And then Tommy's like, okay, you know, I'll give Tommy and Vic are like, we'll give about 1%, so you could have the 34% piece. And Diamond's like, okay, you know, I'm with this type of stuff. So meanwhile, everybody troops up, you know, they strap up, everybody's getting together. Your boy Elijah got his little bulletproof vest on, which is kind of funny because it didn't really help him, especially since he can't shoot worth a damn. And everybody gets together and they're rolling on, you know, the Serbs and whatnot. I mean, Diamond is like, I need you with me. And he's like, we got 34%. And you know, up until that point, he's still in that I hate Tommy shit. But then he hears 34%. He's like, that's real. And then he's like, CBR. And then next thing you know, like, it's like Cash Money Brothers. It's like, and my brother's keeper. And hopefully it's not going to end that way. Before Tommy left the crib, he told old girl, look, I'm going to get you some more product to test. Don't hit that. So Liliana hits that, and next thing you know, she's bugged just like Tommy was. He told her to stay in the crib, stay low, all right, dripping her leather jacket over her shoulder, and she's walking out of the crib. And surprisingly enough, she gets snatched up by the Serbs. So they don't show that part, but of course they've probably beaten her ass. And then, you know, of course, Liliana in the toughest of tough fashion, which makes her more endearing with every second. You know, they're like beating her up and whatnot. And your boy Merkovich says, okay, let loose her handcuffs, her little ties and whatnot. And then he like twists something that breaks. Where is Tommy Egan? I like Boris and Natasha type stuff. But she goes, he's right here. She's doing a crip walk with her finger and it was over. So she was like, but she's tough. You know what I mean? That's the impression they're trying to make. I like it. I mean, this character is getting better every day. So meanwhile, Tommy and Diamond and Jannard and everybody else, because Tommy has been spying all along and he knows where everybody is. So he goes ahead and he raids the warehouse and he's like everybody's capping these Serbs left and right. As I mentioned before, your boy Elijah, it's the worst shot because he comes up to the second floor and he has this dude dead to rights. And he just sprays randomly from left to right instead of just targeting at this dude and capping him. And then so the dude shoots back at him and surprise, surprise.
Jugular vein leaking out all over the place.
Like a chocolate fountain, but there ain't no chocolate involved. It's more like a vanilla latte. Like it's over for your boy Elijah and whatnot. And Jannard comes up in time just to kill his killer and to get his last words from Elijah. So to me, I'm like, okay, that could go one of two ways. He could go ahead and stay supporting his brother and supporting the movement, or he could just be like, this is all Tommy's fault. And then he peers over at Tommy a little bit later, and I was like, oh no, that's the direction we're going. So I felt real bad about that. While all this pandemonium is going on there, we got to go backtrack a little bit. And we backtrack to the point that your boy Vic is like, okay, I'm about to be on the come up. And so he's like, you know, I'm about to break free with my dad. So of course he goes over to Gloria. And it's like, he goes over to her and he's like, this is the plot of land I bought for us so we can raise our kids and all this. And of course, Gloria was like, oh no, he's breaking free. So, you know, it's going with that. And then she's all lovey-dovey again. Nobody in the family likes this picture. Your boy Walter Flynn, which I got to figure out what's up with the symbolism on the pin that he has on him. Because when the people have the pin on them, that really means something. So I got to figure that out. And anybody want to leave their drops below and let me know what they think that pin is about, please let me know. If you have some research on it, hit me up. If we got any Celtic guys or Irish guys who know what that is, hit us up. So he is giving Vic hell, and then he goes to the bar and he rolls up with Gloria and he grabs her by the back of the neck after doing all this sweet talking and saying how beautiful she is and how gorgeous she is, but yours is the face that would never kiss my children, and yours is the face that will never wake up to my son's face in the morning. So a lot of threats there. Only thing he doesn't do is punch her, and he rolls out of there with the bottle of whiskey. And they're like, you know, they got a situation there because it is still Gloria's bar apparently, but she owes money to the Flynn clan. And he's like, your debt is forgiven if you just get the hell out of my son's life. Step one. Step two, your girl Claudette rolls through. Because your girl Claudette saw what was going on earlier and she just wants to diffuse the whole situation and, you know, keep everything nice and copacetic between her brother and her dad. And she's like, you know, she does her little research of sneakiness because remember, she's the money lady. And she's like, you know, I can go ahead and give you this house that he plans on giving you. You just need to get the hell out. And Gloria is pissed. I was surprised she didn't steal on her. She kicks her out of the bar. And at the same time, she said, you're just weak. Your old man is stronger than you are and he's sick. So apparently Claudia also has glaucoma and cataracts because she can't see her dad is sick. All right, and we all know this dude is dying of cancer, but he's coughing left and right like he's about to cough up a lung. Something's going on with this dude medically. He's jacked up. You wouldn't even have to hear the doctors call or anything like that. And she hasn't been paying any attention, but now she's a little stunned by that news. Meanwhile, Tom and everybody has cleaned house. Merkovich and maybe like 3 other cats are left. So they go ahead and call right after the mop up. And they're like, you know, we have Liliana. And then Tommy reaches out to everybody else. He's like, yo, they got Liliana, we gotta go rescue her. And what happens? Nobody's having any love for this plan because they're like, Liliana, we're not tight with Liliana. We hired us to do a job. You made an agreement to do the job. We did the job. We cleaned out the serves. That's on you. So Tommy, of course, he breaks through every speed limit because he has real feelings for this girl. And so he gets to where they're at. It's a standoff. The whole serve crew is right there, and they all have guns. And then Tommy demands to see her, which at this point makes no sense because they should have just shot Tommy. But so they bring out Liliana and whatnot, and he sees that she's still alive. And then your boy Merkovich is like, "We just gonna cap both of y'all." And then all of a sudden, you see somebody whip around in the truck, and he's got the young Uzi semi-automatic, and he's pouring bullets out the window. And it's like the Serbs are like, "We are out of here," and they roll out. Meanwhile, somebody gets caught in a spray because at first Liliana thinks it's Tommy that got hit because she sees blood on his shirt, but it's not his, it's hers because she got popped right here. Now, fortunately, she seems to move a little bit better than Elijah because she got poked in the trapezius, and that isn't even on the lung tip. So it just like burnt right through the muscle, and it hurts like hell, but definitely no need to even go to the hospital if you clean up that wound right and treat it right and get her some antibiotics, which none of those cats know how to do. So, more powerisms. I hear that voice in the distance. The way it is that, Liliana's alive. Tommy's alive. And then we're like, who's the mysterious gunman? And we see a truck that's on fire. And we see, first of all, that's automatically somebody who knows what they're doing because they're cleaning up, the evidence. And then somebody takes a big kind of like hoodie mask type of deal off and just throws it in the fire, and it turns around, it's Jannard. So now we got dilemmas because we don't know where Jannard's head is at. Either he is trying to keep up the agreement that he made with his brother, or he cared about Liliana, didn't want her hit, even though he's the one that hit her with the spray bullets, or we don't know what's going on. So I guess we're going to find out next week. Stunner coming to attractions basically gave us no information. So we're really going to have to just break it down next week. Maybe, we might have that APB solve the missing person. I don't know that's going to happen. But right now we're going to clue in that Law and Order clink, doom, doom, the end of the PowerWatch. So for me, the world, my man Visa, we never did the clink.
Chamomile this time.
Whatever, clink it. There you go. And chamomile what?
Your phone.
Chamomile what?
Green tea with lime in it.
Oh, so now you're trying to be sober.
Sure, let's go with that.
Are we taking turns? What's in your chamomile?
Certainly not bourbon as well. It's not the bougiest toddy that anyone ever done. Eat it up.
So it's bourbon.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Thank you. That was like the Inquisition.
I'm never fucking.
He's like, yeah, you folded quick. You are no Liliana, sir. Until next week, we are out.
Peace, y'all.
And so meanwhile, we're going to pause for a second. Pause for a commercial interruption.
This episode of the PowerWatch is brought to you by Eddie Murphy.
Lotte! All right, so let's get back to it. He told old girl, look, I'm going to get you some more product to test. Don't hit that. So what does Liliana do? Come on, I'm waiting for you, Bizza.
What does Liliana do?
Oh. Liliana hits that. So,
I see.
right. So we're going to edit the fuck out of that. All right. So